I ain't gotta fabricate it, proof is in the pudding. Use that shit as motivation, I'ma keep it pushing. I ain't gotta live a lie, truth be told. I look in your eyes and I tell you despise. That shit overrated, outdated, played out. When I sense hatred, like erasing, I fade out. I gotta get it, whether you gon' rock and roll, I don't know. But either way, I'm fixing to break out. My life changing like leaves change in the fall. I've been broken too, but you don't see me tripping at all. Cause what goes around comes around. Niggas hate why they up, cause they got the means to let you down. See the bigger picture. You ain't tripping on no dollar cause you richer, nigga. Fuck a hoe and face your problems cause you different, nigga. That's the game. I got my own car and created me a lane. Fuck you saying?
A lot of people probably be looking into astrology and the stars and moon and the sun and all of that, and probably just be thinking, it's just something for entertainment. It's not really anything that relates to our life. But we are the universe. We come from the stars, the moon, and the sun. So, when you look at horoscopes and you look at certain things in astrology, it makes sense and it resonates and it aligns with your life because, that's just, it is what it is. And it's not really a coincidence because, those are things that we really supposed to be using as insight and things like that. But of course, as we've been brought up and all of that, we've been told that it's demonic and it's, something that's, that's not right, that we're not supposed to be looking into. But really, all of that is really just insight. But basically, the Mercury Retrograde is just when, the stars and planets align up in a certain way. And yes, it's just a phase that we all go through and we all feel certain things. It affects the earth differently. It affects everybody, every being on the earth differently. So it's not just, if I'm not spiritual and this and that, then it's not something that doesn't affect me. Like, no, if you on this planet, it's affecting your ass. So, so basically, this Mercury retrograde. A lot of people possibly been experiencing a lot of arguments, a lot of back and forth with not just spouses, not just friends, but family, and like heavy on the family. But I feel like, the Mercury retrograde is in this phase. A lot of people, they showing their true colors. They, showing their true light, showing who they really are. So whether it's through arguments, disagreements, or anything like that, definitely, we should always, when it's an argument or something like that, that we have for somebody, we should always try and just be the bigger person and just try and conserve our energy. But sometimes, you got to stand up for yourselves, and some things have to be said for some people to feel your energy and to see where you're really coming from. But of course, everybody's situation is different, but for the most part, arguments. If you haven't gone through an argument through this Mercury retrograde, then you definitely might have one in the next 9 days. Or just a small disagreement of some kind, but, and the next thing is expressing ourselves. So a lot of people might be experiencing, just the buildup of emotions. And a lot of us don't think that our emotional stress can't affect us physically and things like that, but it definitely can. When you've gone through things and you're just not handling it and you're just repressing it, that shit just bottles up inside you, just stacks up on top of each other, and it just eats you up from the inside out. So definitely, if you haven't been working your throat chakra and you feel like you haven't been expressing yourself and you feel like you need to tell somebody something, let that shit out. This is the time to. This is the time to, period, all the time. Like, nobody should be afraid to express themselves. And I know that some situations with people, it could be like, okay, you probably afraid of how the other person might react or afraid of how, they might respond. But no matter what, we should always just be able to communicate with each other and be able to express ourselves to each other. So definitely, if you're feeling like you haven't been able to express yourself, whether it's verbally, physically, especially if you got anger built inside of you and you feel like you can't express yourself verbally, like, put that energy somewhere, whether it's a project you working on, you jogging, you drawing, you dancing, like, just channel that energy somewhere else. And then something else that a lot of us may have been experiencing during this retrograde is emotions, just a roller coaster of emotions. And that's why I speak so passionately about spirituality and about, everything that I went through on my journey, because it's things that helped me with dealing with my emotions and controlling the energy around me, and, just picking up on people's true intentions, and helps with my discernment. So just being able to control your emotions and being more aware of your emotions, it will change your life. Because you will literally start being more aware of how you can control certain situations, how you can control the energy between you and someone, or just the energy in the room. So, and also, like, just being more aware of your emotions, you'll just be able to heal yourself more easily when things happen to you, and it won't feel like, the end of the world all the time. But basically right now, a lot of us is, just facing the fact that, I need to deal with how I'm feeling. I'm feeling this way about this certain thing, or I'm flying off the handle about this. Like, my anger is just out of control. Like, my anxiety is through the roof. So, like, these are things that literally we need to really be thinking about, and need to be finding ways to, just help ourselves cope and get through it, and just bring clarity to our bodies, but our minds and our souls as well. Because if you don't have any control over your emotions and any control over healing yourself and dealing with problems, then all those problems just gonna stack up on top of each other, and eventually it's just gonna smack you in the face. But the next thing that a lot of people may have been experiencing is critical thinking, just critical thinking of ourselves and others. So, and I feel like this kind of go hand in hand with anxiety and depression also. So I feel like it's a lot of people, the ones that are critical of themselves. You definitely probably just thinking about, well, what if I would have did this, or I should have did that in the past, or I could have did this and then things would have been differently now, or this and this. Like, you don't need to have those thoughts. Don't be critical of yourself anymore. We shouldn't be thinking about the past. Once something happened and it's behind us, literally leave it behind you. Like, yes, you can always revisit the past, but it's not good to just dwell on the past and to just constantly stress about things that you should have did differently, you could have did differently. You just gotta, and that's why before I do readings with people, I always stress to them, like, don't expect to hear about your future so much, and don't expect to hear that you're gonna win the lottery and shit like that. Don't expect to hear that you're gonna get a new car in 2 weeks. Like, no, when it comes to spirit, they're gonna focus on the present, because if you're not putting your effort and your energy into your present, you're not gonna make it to the future. But also, if you dwelling so much on the past, like, you're not going to get none of those things that you wanted and needed either. So, if you are critically thinking of yourself, don't be hard on yourself, and don't feel like a dumbass for being hard on yourself, because we all get hard on ourselves sometimes. But, that's why I constantly tell people, like, I'm not perfect. You're not supposed to be perfect. Our ancestors weren't perfect. Like, everybody that passed before us was not perfect. So do not expect yourself to be perfect. Don't try to be a perfectionist. Literally just go with the flow of life, and don't be hard on yourself. But also, don't be so critical of others to the point to where you don't realize that you tearing somebody else down. Like, of course, we all have to hear criticism sometimes, but it's a way to respectfully give criticism to somebody. but it's also, a time and place where you need to realize, like, okay, like, I do need to listen to this person. This is something that I possibly do need to take in and listen to. But also, if you are being really hard or critical on somebody else, just realize that it's not your place to be judging somebody and to be so critical about somebody else. You could definitely express yourself and let that person know how they possibly making you feel and things like that, but you shouldn't be judging somebody and be feeling like you in a place of power to where you could criticize somebody 24/7. And then the next thing that a lot of people might be experiencing during this retrograde is delays and accidents. And if y'all wondering why I'm looking to the side, I'm just looking at my little notepad I got over here. And literally, I just be channeling. It's just thoughts that I just be jotting down. So, but a lot of people might be experiencing a lot of delays, and this could be as far as projects or work things that you looking to come in, or just money, anything like that, or even just accidents. And that could be physical accidents as far as, vehicles or injuries or anything like that. But period, like, you're gonna expect some fucked up situations in the Mercury retrograde. So if shit just been going upside down during this phase in your life, like, it's for a reason. It's just the universe making way for new beginnings and for things to leave your life. Literally, this is all this Mercury retrograde is about: new beginnings and letting go of old shit, old ways, old thinking, all of that. So, a lot of people might be experiencing a lot of delays and accidents. It's a lot of mental clarity issues right now. And as far as mental clarity, I gotta talk about this because, especially, and I had to break myself out of this habit too, because I was having issues to the point to where I didn't know how to clear my mind. I didn't know how to stop thinking about everything that was going wrong in my life. So it just came to a point to where I was like, you know what, I got to make a change in my life. So that's when I started my spiritual journey. But literally, we was brought up being comfortable with just thinking that, okay, if something happened, I'm gonna give it to Juicy J. If I feel it a certain way, you know what, Juicy J is gonna handle it. I don't have to do, like, no, I need to just let these emotions stay in my soul, just stay trapped in there, and Juicy J is gonna figure it out. But y'all, I'm telling y'all, like, that shit it's just gonna eat you up from the inside out. So it's just best just to find ways just to bring mental clarity to yourself every day, because literally it's always things that can get to us or distract us or throw us off. So it's just always just good to just turn to something just to level us and ground us. So, a lot of people, when I bring up meditation, they be thinking, oh, that's stupid, like, what the fuck, like, and it's so hard, I can't focus and this and that. But y'all not really trying. Y'all not. So so I need y'all to, like, really at least take it seriously and, like, try something new. Like, just think outside the box, and that's what we need to do. Push ourselves out of our comfort zone, because it's no way that I should be bringing up meditation and people looking at me sideways. Like, it's meditation. What the fuck? But it literally helps, clears your mind, and it helps balance you. You can heal yourself by meditation. You can contact your spiritual team by meditation. You can literally open up your chakras, align your chakras, all of that by meditation. And I've even been able to to take away certain pains from my bodies. I used to get migraines all the time. Since I started my spiritual journey, I don't even get them no more. But if I do get a slight headache, I can meditate and focus on that area, and my headache will be gone. But, that's why I feel like it's important for me to spread this information because a lot of us don't know how powerful our minds and our bodies are. So, if you literally just focus on it, you can ground yourself and get through meditation. You will be at a point to where you just meditating every day, and even if it's just for like 5 or 10 minutes, just take time out of your day to clear your mind and to calm your body, your mind, your soul, all of that. Take time out of your day for yourself. But also during the Mercury retrograde, a lot of us probably realizing that a lot of old trauma that we went through in the past is coming back up. And that's mainly because we just not dealing with it. And also because the universe is probably trying to put us in a place to where something will build us up and make us stronger for our next phase and the next chapter that we go into. So definitely if you realize that old trauma is coming back up in your life, even if it's something that was so traumatizing that happened to you and you don't even want to think about it, you don't even want to talk about it, like, if you don't want to talk about it to nobody, hit me up. Like, that's literally what I be trying to teach people, how they could heal themselves, how they could get through their trauma, how, and it's crazy because a lot of us don't realize how our old trauma and a lot of the things that we have been through is still affecting us until we deal with it and until we actually focus on it. But it definitely is. And a lot of old trauma is coming up for a lot of people for a reason. So it's best to deal with it, face your dark side, like just face it and get through it. Heal yourself and, stop running from it. Because if you keep running from it, it's just going to keep chasing you. And during this retrograde, a lot of people probably, feeling anxiety and depression heavy, or it's probably coming back up into their life. So, again, like I was saying about meditation and mental clarity and emotions, expressing ourselves, everything that I was saying before this point, definitely take that into consideration and start applying it to your life. I feel you, but yes, that's why the main thing I'm be speaking about is mind, spirit, and soul. This is all this Mercury retrograde is about, the battle of mind, spirit, and soul. But I'm definitely finna get into that more. But that's that's the main highlight of this whole thing. Like, literally, Mercury retrograde it's a test. Like, this is a testing phase. Like, and it's a mental test. So, we gotta be strong. We gotta be strong through this phase. But high five, everybody. We made it through. We making it through. We getting through it. So yes, and another thing that a lot of people probably experiencing is work life, probably loss of creativity, and also a lot of people probably going through awakenings. So definitely know if your work life is off, that spirit is just trying to push you to a different spot in your life, trying to push you to just do more as far as work, or just to do whatever your soul is trying to push you to do. And also if you had a loss of creativity, just always revisit your inner child. That's why I tell people all the time, because literally our creative side, that's our feminine side, our inner child, all of that. And also for the men, like, embrace y'all feminine side. Like, y'all don't have to be hard as a rock all the time. Embrace, like, y'all have femininity too, so embrace that. But creativity has to do with that side, and it also has to do with your inner child. So, a lot of us, we get so deep into our adulting and society that we lose our creativity, we lose our imagination, we lose that little spark inside of us, we lose our passions that we had as a child, growing up. So that's why I tell people, like, always revisit that side of yourself, because it will always awaken that little spark inside of yourself, that little piece of yourself that you feel like you're missing. And plus, like, just thinking as a child, sometimes, like, children, they're not afraid of anything. They don't judge anything. They always ask questions. They always think outside the box. So that's how we should be thinking, you know? And that's why I tell people to also let their children express themselves, because we don't understand how powerful our fucking children are. Like, we don't even understand how powerful we are, but our kids, like, they are our future, like, for real, for real. But for the ones that's going through an awakening and you feeling just, this is how an awakening feels. I don't know, it's like spirit just showing me like a crossroads, but like with just 8 different paths, and you just right there in the middle, and your feet just shackled right there in the middle, and you just got all these different options around you. And it's like your mind is like, you trying to logically think about, okay, I need to do this. This is what I need to do as far as money. This is what I need. You're logically thinking, but your soul is screaming out like, girl, just do this. Just do what makes you happy. Just, like, literally. So if you're feeling like that right now, and you're feeling stuck, and you're just feeling off, you feeling like you emotional, like, it's literally spirit trying to reach out to you, trying to contact you, trying to pull you closer into your spiritual journey or getting it started. So, but literally, like, you can't be unshackled from that position until you start following your soul and your heart. So, you know, but let's go into duality. So, well, actually, no. Let's go into mind, spirit, and soul. So, basically, to finish off all of that everybody probably experiencing during this retrograde, the main thing that everybody's going to be going through is the battle between mind, spirit, and soul. So, basically, like I said, in that little portion of the awakening, like, that's literally what everybody be going through until they soul get led to spirit, until they start not caring about what other people think and caring about how they living, just literally just doing whatever the fuck you want to do, being free to express yourself, just being a free spirit. But I mean, but even when you embrace just being a free spirit, like, sometimes you're gonna go through those phases of, you know, the battle of mind, spirit, and soul, because I literally just went through it. So, but basically, like, your mind. We always think, in society teach us that we should just always think logically, always think things through, just go with the logical, you know, the logical answer, always think it through. But we tend to dismiss our soul when we do that. So, and it just creates a big battle. And spirit is basically, you know, the most high spirit team, everybody that's watching over us. So basically, we just create a big battle between those 3 things when we just not listening to our soul and spirit. But pretty much, I feel like a lot of people is just at the point to where their mind is just completely fucked up and it's no type of clarity, and it's just I don't know, it's just even more like confusion in everybody's brains, because they thinking like, okay, I need to just think things through. Let me just keep thinking, keep weighing my mind on this. I need to think logically. Think. Like, no, that's not, that's not how we supposed to be 24/7. Like, we literally supposed to be grounding ourselves and bringing ourselves back to a place of clarity, to where we're able to hear our intuition and able to hear that little thought in our head, to where it's telling us, you know, the right thing to do. And a lot of people don't like to acknowledge their intuition and that little voice in their head, because they think they crazy, and other people gonna tell you crazy. But I'm sorry, y'all. But that's not the case at all. That's literally your higher self trying to get to your attention, your intuition, and even higher guidance that's trying to guide you down the right path, and trying to tell you what to do, and trying to give you insight. So, a lot of us is going crazy in our minds thinking that we need to think logically all the time and that we need to, I don't know, just keep ourselves inside of this comfort zone and just do what we feel is right, do what we feel is logical. But a lot of us just need to take a step back and just realize that, you know what, I have a higher guidance. My soul is also trying to get me to do something else. So why don't I just step out of my comfort zone and do what my soul is trying to pull me to do for once? And that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be letting your soul lead you, let spirit lead you. And a lot of people get it confused, but you are spirit. Like, your soul is a part of spirit. So do not like second guess or hesitate on following through with whatever your soul or spirit is telling you, because that's nothing but love and higher guidance trying to look out for you. But a lot of people, they'll dismiss all this information and be like, I'm a Christian, this is not affecting me. But literally everybody goes through the battle of mind, spirit, and soul all the time. Like, even if it's like a little misunderstanding that they probably thinking about and dwelling on, like, you literally having a battle with yourself right then and there about what you should be doing, because we literally think all the time we need to think logically, and like sometimes we need to listen to our intuition. Sometimes we need to just let our minds get clarity. We need to like give our mind some space, like actually give our heart a rest too, and then come back to things sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much that. But if you ain't take nothing from what I just said, definitely take with you that your soul is a part of spirit. You are a spirit. Like, you are the creator that created you. So you shouldn't feel like that, what that little voice inside of your head is telling you something wrong or anything like that, because you are of the universe. You are of the creator that created you. So you shouldn't feel like, you're being led astray. And always follow your soul, follow spirit. And if your mind just don't have any clarity, bring some clarity to your mind, and then you'll be able to hear your soul and hear spirit much better. But let's touch on duality now. So duality is basically, the light and dark side. And a lot of people, like to talk about, the light side of spirituality all the time, and don't touch on the dark side of spirituality, because literally we can't get to that other side of the rainbow unless we face our darker side, unless we face our lower self. And when I say lower self, like, please don't see it as like, oh, that's the part of myself I need to completely get rid of. Like, no, you need to embrace your lower self. You need to embrace that dark side. And not saying that you're embracing that you embrace demons and evil and and this and that. No, like, all of that trauma, all that pain you went through, even some of those dark thoughts that you have, like, that's you. That's a part of you. So you can't just completely like dispel yourself and dismiss yourself. And also, like, just think of our ancestors. Like, if somebody tried to do something to harm you, or if somebody tries to do something to harm your children, like, shit, best believe I'm going to I'm going to whatever spell I know to return to sender. I'm calling out to my ancestors, all of that, and I'm reaching out to my dark side to protect myself and to, because a lot of us, we've been conditioned to think that we're supposed to turn the other cheek all the time, and we're supposed to, like, no, if somebody form a weapon against me, it's gonna be met with an even bigger weapon. And sometimes spirit wants us to know that it's okay to think like that, because, like, we shouldn't just be no little wimps out here. No little spiritual wimps. Just, I don't know. But, it's definitely rainbows and butterflies to spirituality. But, you always got to embrace that dark side too and acknowledge it. And basically, I feel like a lot of people is just fighting a lot of their trauma and a lot of things that they went through, a lot of pain, a lot of things that they have built up on their heart. A lot of people are running from it. So, embrace that and face it and heal yourself through it and learn how you can apply it to yourself to just make you stronger and make you an even better person, the best version of yourself. But also, I don't want people to feel like when I be, saying be the best version of yourself and be the bigger person and this and that, and I don't want y'all to feel like that I'm telling y'all to, tuck y'all tail and run. Because best believe when somebody is fucking with me and somebody is constantly pushing my buttons and I'm constantly being a big person and I'm constantly picking to be the light, best believe my ancestors gonna turn me to turn it up and go to my dark side for a minute. So sometimes it's necessary to to let motherfuckers feel your energy, and sometimes, hey, it gotta be that dark side. But basically, the lesson with duality I wanted to give is just for y'all to embrace your lower self, embrace your dark side. But definitely, embrace it to the point to where you're able to heal yourself, control your emotions, control your anger, all of that, and not just lash out at people, but definitely you got the right to defend yourself at all costs. And even when people see spiritual people speaking with passion and might be snapping off on somebody and this and that, they be oh my god, what the I'm sorry, but we got a right to defend ourselves too, and we could curse a motherfucker out too. Fuck, in the name of spirit. Fuck. So, and best believe that's exactly how my ancestors, how my loved ones, how the ones that's watching over us ride for us. So, you just gotta learn to, have balance. Balance out the light and the dark. But, just learning how to embrace your dark side, and healing yourself. I done embraced it and controlled it so much to the point to all I exude is light. All I exude is light. So, and to the point to where if I defend myself, people call me crazy or something like that. Honey, no, I'm sorry, but you can't just get rainbows and feathers all the time. If you keep stepping on my toes and if you keep disrespecting me, spirit is going to give you the go to defend yourself and to embrace your dark side. But also, too, when you're going through things and, sometimes you might do some spell work and return to sender. And you got to dip into that dark side. So, but definitely don't feel like that you're evil or anything like that because you're embracing your lower self and your dark side. No. Being a genuine person and being able to control your dark side and being able to control yourself and your emotions instead of just trying to pretend that you're a good person all the time and being the fucked up person in real life. No. Nah, I would rather embrace my duality and be balanced. But yeah, I just want to give y'all that first little lesson. I'm gonna definitely be uploading more information, more content sooner, so definitely stay in tune. And
I'm the shit. I don't need your secondhand opinions. I see the hate on your face. You can't play chameleon.